and welcome. Happy 2016, everybody! Yay! It is a brand new year. We're still here. But we are now also in podcast form, so I totally understand if you don't want to look at our faces for an hour. I get it. I don't like looking at us either for an hour, but we're in podcast form, and I'll have all that information on the link, and of course at the end of this podcast. But so yay for improvements. So we got a podcast. It's 2016. We already have reviews lined up. This is madness, man.
Yes, it is. Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. And I must say that for the beginning of what is usually known as the dead season of gaming, this one starts on a pretty solid note, I must admit. I mean, we have stuff to play, as you said. Not that we're playing much ourselves.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've made leaps and strides this holiday season. And what I've played.
But mostly involving explosions, right?
Yes, explosions and gold hoarding, but we'll...
Gold hoarding, okay.
Yes, we will get to all of that lovely talk. But see, this week, we already have 2 reviews lined up for this week. Assassin's Creed Chronicles India, which I loved the China, so I'm excited about getting into the next chapter and scaling through India. And stabbing people when they're not expecting it, and dumping them into behind curtains or into baskets, and it makes you wonder, why do they have so many baskets and curtains to hide dead bodies?
There's always something like that in Assassin's Creed, always.
But
it's either carts of hay, or baskets, or pigeons, or feathers.
Well, the funny thing is, in China, it just got to the point, it's you would think that the last few stages, when you realize that you had all these found... I mean, I probably hit about 4 dead bodies in this one, tub thing. You would think after that, wouldn't they just remove all those? We found a lot of these. Maybe we shouldn't have these anymore.
Right.
But then again, I guess we shouldn't bring logic in, because then what fun would that be? So we have that, and we have the indie game Oxenfree, which is that was our indie highlight of last week, and that's going to be our indie highlight for this podcast. So you've actually done some research on Oxenfree, and I was looking at a little bit of it. I read your indie corner from last week, which you all should go read. It talked about it's a narrative-driven story about basically these 4 teenagers who are being rebellious and whatever. So I was reading it and I was like, okay, is this Stand By Me or what? And the press release I got today said, think Stand By Me and Poltergeist. I'm like, never would have put those 2 things together.
Those are, right. But if you think about it, those are kind of I'm not saying they're epic movies or anything, but they're cult movies. You remember them fondly for good reason. But as for Oxenfree, I urge people to watch the trailer that was released. One of the teasers was released last year, and then another one after that. So there is some gameplay shown there. And essentially, the first thing you get from watching the footage is that, whoa, this looks kind of different, and yet it looks familiar, which is always kind of cool. And the design is kind of interesting. The gameplay seems interesting. And personally, what I like about it is that the premise seems to have this kind of a mystery thing going on. So you don't know what these kids, teenagers, or whatever, you don't know what they'll be running into. If there's something mystical, there's the poltergeist moment. I don't think it will delve much into the horror genre. That's my guess. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'm right about this. I don't know if you get the same feeling.
No, maybe supernatural.
It doesn't look to me. Possibly, yeah. Yeah, kind of like an adventure, supernatural, mystery. I would say crime solving, but kind of in the sense you have to solve puzzles and stuff. So it is kind of the thing I think most people forgot, basically, because it's not a AAA game, right? So it's one of those releases that's gonna, it's right on time, right? And we're gonna have something to play, and I think I just have a good feeling about it, in general. So plus, honestly, I don't know what this means. Okay, language barriers may be involved, but the company Night School, the studio that's making the game, it says founded in 2014 by the alumni of Telltale and Disney. That basically means what?
Former employees.
Former. Why? What? Then why just not say former employees?
Because alumni sounds like you weren't fired.
Are you saying they were fired?
No, I'm just saying that it's just a prettier way of saying that, or maybe they were fired and that's why they were calling alumni, because they don't want to be like, oh, we were fired. It's just a nicer, instead of saying that you're firing someone, what do you say? That you're having an organizational restructure, you're downsizing
also,
a department.
Right. So to me, it sounds kind of like a Illuminati. The alumni of the Illuminati. It's kind of one of those words. I'm just talking about words now. I'm not talking about the game. Sorry, but overall, I can't wait to play it. So I'm pretty glad that we're gonna be getting a review copy, courtesy of Keri's hard work there. So that's something to look forward to.
Skills where I beg people to like us.
Begging. You are skillful at begging. It's a skill. It is. You joke, but it is. So, yeah. Other than that, I haven't been playing anything else. Should we start talking about Star Wars now?
Well, I just wanted to get the indie highlight out of the way. Oh, you have something else?
No, I was just gonna say that the January lineup doesn't have anything else, does it? Like for releases, not much, right?
Sure, you asked me this when I don't have any of that stuff open. Like, I know there's a whole bunch of Resident Evil remaster releases.
Yeah, there was something else.
The Witness.
But nothing. Right, from Jonathan Blow.
Mm-hmm. The creator of Braid.
I don't know if. The guy didn't do anything else. Basically, Braid is like, a great achievement. But as for The Witness, I haven't seen much footage of it. I don't know if you have.
I've seen a little bit. I really don't have enough of a comment. I mean, it's one of those where I think that he said that you could get through it because it's a puzzle exploration game. You could get through it quickly, or it could take you 200 hours or something insane like that. I guess if you want to unlock or find everything. But that seems to be like the gaming MO lately, is 6 hours, 200 hours,
But is it still like a platformer? Because Braid was essentially
like... It doesn't seem to be a platformer. It looked to me...
Right, because it's like 200 hours.
A puzzle exploration.
Right. But it's 2D or 3D, or is... I asked too much.
I should have done some more research. It's been a while since I've seen a trailer for The Witness.
Same here. Yeah, same here. So, but it's, 2 indie games then, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
I'm trying to think. I want to say there's something else. Oh, no, that's next month. Never mind. Something else is coming out this month, but I can't...
Well, XCOM, that's next month.
That is next month. I was like, Street Fighter 5? No, that's next month. February has got a pretty good lineup. But January, I mean, weird thing is about January is that January in the past has either been dearth of anything or packed. Because I remember one January, I want to say it was either 2010 or 2011, I was thinking there was going to be nothing out, and oh, nope, Bayonetta and Darksiders both came out the first 2 weeks of January that year.
Oh, right.
So suddenly when it seemed like there was nothing, there was two really good games.
There is a Rise of the Tomb Raider, is it not, for PC gamers, I think?
Yes, Rise of the Tomb Raider is coming out for PC on January 28th, which I cannot recommend PC gamers to get that game enough. Amazing game.
Right.
Love it.
It was in our Game of the Year awards. It got high honors, so that's a pretty that should be like one of the incentives for you to just try it out. I mean, it's not just us. I think overall people were happy with it.
Yeah, the problem with it is that it unfortunately came out the same day as Fallout 4. So it was, well, there was two problems. There was that, and it was an Xbox One exclusive. So it just kind of got forgotten.
That's true. That wasn't the only game that came out when Fallout. Did it come out at the same day?
Came out the same day as Fallout 4. Uh-huh.
Well, that's interesting because StarCraft 2 also came out when Fallout.
That's right.
It was StarCraft 2, Legacy of the Void, Fallout 4, and Rise of the Tomb Raider. I just don't understand these. I mean, I can understand platform exclusives, but not these timely exclusives. I don't understand the
That's basically Xbox or Microsoft just threw a ton of money at Square Enix, and they were just like, okay.
Well, yeah, which you would do. I mean, if somebody throws money at you, you wouldn't rebel much against people throwing money at you. I think this is the perfect time to announce that we are going to have a completely spoiler-riddled discussion about Star Wars, the new Star Wars movie.
Yes, Star Wars 7, The Force Awakens. Udrosh saw it opening night, I believe.
Right.
And then I had to wait 10 days later to see it because I know my husband is overseas, as I'm sure I've said several times, and so I just couldn't get around getting a babysitter, and so I decided to take my dad to see it when I was home for Christmas, because my dad and I, we have a very special Star Wars bond. I've taken him to see the prequels all in the theater.
That is so right there. I just envy you so much for having such that kind of relationship with your father. That is awesome.
So, but he was really into his whole thing with Star Wars was that the big story my family always talks about is that before I was born, I think it was the month before I was born, my parents knew that they weren't going to be able to go to the movies anymore. So every day before I was born, they went to a movie. And they said they saw some great ones and they saw some awful ones. And one of the great ones that they saw was Space Odyssey 2001. And then my dad read an article in Time magazine that said that Space Odyssey 2001 had 35 special effects. But Star Wars, which is coming out, has 365 special effects. My dad was like, "Oh,
yes, it was touted that way. It was promoted that way as like being the next big thing in movie effects." Because
he said Space Odyssey blew his mind. I mean, aside from the fact that they had no idea what's going on, I was like, well, that's a common theme with Space Odyssey. I mean, I read the book first, and then I saw the movie to hopefully I could make more sense. Like, no, it doesn't make any more sense what happened.
It's difficult because it's with especially with Kubrick, his form and it's all way too abstract. Mm-hmm. When you compare it with Star Wars, with something like Star Wars.
Well, yeah. But anyway, so he made a point. It's like, we have to go see this. My mom was like, okay, fine, whatever. So they went to go see it, and then 2 days later, I was born. So it's like, basically, I heard this. I was like, I must see this. And so after,
you heard it through your mom's belly.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And so, and back then, things took years to come out on VHS, and so when my dad got Star Wars and we watched that, I don't know how many times, and then
are you just building up to this? You're trying to say that you were a fan of Star Wars before you were even born. That's a big claim.
It's just a story my parents always tell. Like, basically, it's the way my dad says he wasn't surprised I was born a Star Wars fan. But I'm just trying to say, my dad and I, we always watch these movies together. And, I bought him the special editions, and then I apologized and bought him the new DVDs that didn't have the special edition on it. And, so it's just a big thing. And it was just really, really cool to see that with him. I think my favorite moment with my dad in the movies was when we saw Revenge of the Sith.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was it.
Okay.
Crap. It was whichever one. Oh my gosh, I'm just losing all my Star Wars credit now. I don't remember which one this was in, but it's the one where Obi-Wan goes after Jango. So maybe that was the second one, Attack of the Clones. When Obi-Wan...
No, that's the second one.
Okay, yeah.
That's the second.
Okay.
Are you talking about the asteroid belt and then landing on
Yes.
Camino?
Yeah.
That's the second movie,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, when he originally goes to Camino to
Mhm.
find Django, and then like he basically he knows that Django's going to try to escape, and he waits for him, and they have this little fight. And there's a scene where
It's a pretty epic fight.
when
Yeah.
Obi-Wan, like he's just basically getting his ass kicked, and my dad leaned over me, he's went, he needs to do some Jedi shit. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, that's that's cool.
So, but what happened with us this time in seeing this movie was at the very end of the movie, and I'm there wiping tears. He goes, "Are you crying?" Like, shut up, man.
At the very end.
Yes, I was crying. I was crying. I started to cry at a certain point in the movie. I cried. Okay, the big spoiler. If you haven't seen Star Wars, go ahead and stop this. Catch us next time. When Han died.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I teared up a little
When that happened, I was like, wait, what? No, he's not dead. There's no way. And then, Chewie left and the planet exploded. It's like, okay, I guess he is now.
Yeah, so what made that scene powerful for me was two things. Was the dialogue, which I think was pretty good, and the stuff Han said before, Kylo, like, put a lightsaber through his belly. Mm-hmm. It's not easy to talk about these things.
And then he, reached up and patted his cheek, just like almost to let him know that he still forgives him.
And then what really nails it is Chewie's reaction, right?
Shooting him with the bowcaster.
That's a pretty fucking, emotional moment right there. And that's what made the scene for me, like, when Chewie just like,
it's like,
and just growls. And thankfully he growls, so he cannot do the no thing. Everybody seems to say you can't go no. That would be like he just does a growl, and you could see that he's pretty pissed off. But the whole movie seems to have like this emotional thing going because a lot of familiar elements are in there. Familiar. Reminding you of the classic trilogy more, perhaps a lot more than it reminds you of the prequels.
Yeah. A friend of mine asked me, because she hadn't seen any Star Wars movies since she was 10, but she kind of wanted to see these because she forgot how great the music was, and so she texted me asking if she needed to see the prequels before watching this, and I said, I don't know, but I'll let you know. And after watching it, I was like, no, you really don't. There's really, at least I didn't catch any references to the prequels.
No, I don't think so.
No,
I don't think they are. They're
very hidden
or minuscule. So that people wouldn't. Essentially, what they wanted to do is they wanted to please, like, I think. They wanted to remain. They wanted to have like this consistency. It's obviously so. They did. I mean, what I liked is that it has all these X-Wings and TIE fighters and stuff we liked, like spaceships we liked from the previous movies, but what's really cool is that as the movie, kicks off, it has you hooked like right away. I mean, I'm speaking like for myself. I don't know if people were happy with it, but the beginning is pretty important for Star Wars. How you start off the movie, if you have the crowd like right away, then chances are they'll be pretty, happy with it. And then the big like thing that the first new thing you see is a stormtrooper breaking formation and just like not behaving as a stormtrooper would, which in this case was I never remember his stormtrooper rank and name, but.
It's FN numbers.
It's FN numbers, yeah. So Finn. So that was a pretty cool moment, as much as the moment where Kylo Ren freezes that blaster shot. I mean, those are the kind of things you didn't expect to see. So that's kind of cool, and it introduces the first the heroes brilliantly. The first time you see Rey is an awesome, one of the best epic movie scenes I've seen in a long time is when she like gets out of the Star Destroyer and just slides on the sand dune.
Mm-hmm.
It's an epic moment. You have to like that.
Especially when you don't realize what kind of ship she's in. And then when it pans out, you see that it's a crashed Star Destroyer. It's like, okay, that's pretty
exactly
neat.
Yeah, and the whole even though it's like a desert, we've seen that shit before. I sort of don't mind them going back to that kind of visual environment.
Well, I mean, the parallels between this and A New Hope were, like, I walked away from the theater going, wow, he really did, like, line it up with A New Hope.
Because, I know.
But you had to get all these new characters together, as well as them merging with the old characters. So what you had was someone who was trying to get information. He puts it in a droid and loses it. The droid is on a desert place, comes across a future Jedi who gets, hooked up with a stormtrooper, which didn't happen in the first one. But regardless, then they get on the Millennium Falcon and leave the desert planet. And there's that they need this information to do a certain thing. It's not the exact same certain thing, but but to me it was actually kind of cool that how they bound all these characters together was once again through a little droid that happened to have this information, which is exactly
that was one of my biggest, not one of my biggest fears, but I worried that BB-8 was going to be the kind of character we would end up presenting. If you resent BB-8, it means like he's kind of like this kid thing. You like kind of a Jar Jar character, but essentially, even if he was that way, I wouldn't mind. But instead, it turned out to be just the opposite. I think BB-8 is one of the coolest characters in there, actually.
Yeah.
So, and then all the generally what I liked about the movie was the really well implemented humor. It feels very natural. You don't go cringing at, oh my god, that's it doesn't feel fake. So that was awesome. And if you were to judge or to try and think about the movie just judging by the trailer that was out before it got released, you couldn't get that she was in fact the Jedi, right? What you could gather from the bits and pieces was that Finn was the Jedi because he was holding the lightsaber, right? Oh, so I like that twist. I like that because I didn't expect her to be the Jedi. I just expected Finn as the guy, the force wielding guy here. So I love his character, and I think she's Rey is a pretty good lead. The female version of Skywalker, if you will.
She's a great character.
Yeah, like generally a great character, and given a role that is given to somebody who is like fresh and new and young and all that stuff, and inexperienced and yet good. If she carries it off, that's it. That's all you need. And the same goes for John Boyega, who is the actor portraying Finn.
Yeah,
the chemistry. I like his. Yeah, so the chemistry they have also feels natural. Mm-hmm. So again, you don't have this this cringing stuff we had between Padme and Anakin. Yeah, God. Even come on.
A lovey river of love. I mean, so bad.
I like how you summarize that, the lovely river of love.
Well, that's actually thanks to VGCats.com, one of their comics that they did right after the last Star Wars movie came out. He did a summary of the movie, and that was one of the panels. And I think it had the girl cat dressed up as Amidala. She's like, my love for you is like a loving river of love. And then he had Anakin going, okay, creepy. Like, yes, it kind of was.
If I'm totally honest, between those two, Anakin was pretty much doing all the creepy looks and moves during their affair.
I think
I'm sorry.
they were just highlighting.
I'm sorry, my lady. I'm sorry, my lady.
Well, it's like, what did he said that she is so beautiful, and she's like, only because I'm in love with you, and he's like, no, it's because I'm in love with you. It's like, oh, so love has blinded you. I'm like, oh my god, just
yeah. If you're a 7-year-old, you're gonna be like, oh come on. I mean, there are fairy tales that have better love stories than this, and children's books.
Okay,
So,
the Pixar movie Up?
Yep.
Okay, so that whole first 10 minutes that had no talking was a better love story than that.
Oh my god, that expressed like through music and just images and memories, and that's it right there.
How they expressed kind of the reunion of Leia and Han and how they still loved each other.
Oh yeah, that's
was better.
Yeah. I actually didn't know where they were gonna go with that, because I was curious. I mean, okay, so if they continue like, okay, so Han and Leia are not together, they're like a couple, that so doesn't fit Han's character. You wouldn't expect a swashbuckler, kind of a space pirate to be in a relationship, if you know what I mean. And especially Leia, who is like a committed, military person.
Well, but they talked about that, how they were until their son rebelled.
Yes, but if that was in Star Wars, you get all the corniness you don't want, right?
Right.
I mean, you don't want to see them like on a couch watching TV or something,
I don't want to see
Did you water the plants? Did you feed the dog? Actually, yeah, I did, but now I'm gonna just like make a speech to keep up the morale of the troops. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna do some bounty hunter, space pirate thing. See you later, hon. You end up getting some sort of cheap sitcom thing. You don't want that. So they carefully avoided that. I mean, successfully. I also loved how the new Force, stories related to the Force specifically were implemented. So for instance, when Kylo Ren and Rey first confront each other, like when he triggers something in her, mind, and she starts to realize she's actually stronger than him, like in terms of willpower. That was a pretty big moment. So you need pretty good actors to pull that off, because it's all philosophical, it's all abstract, right? You don't see the Force. So that scene was pulled off thanks to great sound effects. Basically just everything else is in the actor's hands. If that scene didn't work, it would have made the whole story unbelievable to me. And I honestly don't know why people are so disappointed with, in a way, Kylo Ren, and saying that he's like a wuss and stuff. I mean, he is supposed to be that. Technically.
I found an article about this, and basically this person was defending Kylo Ren.
Okay.
And so I'm reading this and going, people are really bitching about, because basically what people were saying, which I didn't get because I guess I'm easy to please, was they were saying that Kylo Ren must be a wuss if Rey, who is untrained in the Force, and Finn, who does not know how to use a lightsaber, are able to defeat him. Of course, my first thought was well, you got 2 versus 1 there, and Finn was taken out pretty quickly. But as this one person with this huge article, he was explaining that he's well, remember, he got hit by the bowcaster just before that fight. And it's we're talking about this weapon that would make 3 or 4 stormtroopers just go explodey up in the air. And what does Kylo Ren do? He walks it off. And there was a lot of scenes in that fight where you see him holding his side, he's trying to hold the blood in.
Yeah, and he keeps doing this.
Yes,
which is kind of cool.
Walk it off, man.
Yeah, suck it up.
So, and that's kind of what I was well, wasn't he wounded? What's the big deal? And I guess people, and I remember talking to my friend Jen, because she was saying that she had a problem with that. I said, but wasn't he wounded? He kept grabbing his side, and she's like, oh my gosh, you're right. And then she's the one who found the article about the bowcaster.
Mm.
But I don't think it's one of those cases where people overanalyze. Now, the funniest thing I saw about Kylo Ren, meme-wise, was someone posted a picture of him when he has his mask off, because he's got interesting hair, I'll put it that way. And it said Darth Millennial.
Yeah, I know about that.
Which
I know,
made me
I know.
laugh.
That's overused though. The millennial, like, way overused. But yeah, people don't seem. People, I think, generally after the trailer expected another sort of villain, similar to Darth Vader. Particularly when you see, the footage of him wearing the mask. That's all you see of him, in the trailers. So that's what people expected, and they didn't get that. What they had was like this guy who was too weak to confront somebody who he's not even in tune with the Force yet. But I don't think that's the point. I think the point is that he's not prepared yet. He's not fully trained, which is also like expressed in the movie many times,
Yes.
and even his like mentor, the evil guy who is
Smoke. Was that Smoke? Smoked?
No, Snoke.
Snoke. Okay, Snoke.
Yeah, Smoke.
It's like,
Yeah.
Is it Smoak? Smoke? Snoke. Okay.
Smog. No, you're confused because of Smog, the dragon.
No. I learned from Honest Game trailers it's Smaug.
It's Smaug. It is Smaug. Or Smaug. Yeah. So Kylo Ren is what he is. And I think it's a good casting as well. So
I have one more thing to add about him wearing the mask. The reason why I thought he was wearing the mask, especially because he's there talking to Darth Vader's nice ashy mask.
Yeah, the relic.
I thought he was wearing the mask, especially when he took it off and you saw his face. He's just fine. I was like, he's wearing the mask to be like his grandfather.
Yeah. Give me a minute with that. Okay. He's grandfather, you say?
Yes, because he even says, "Grandfather, please help me, make me stronger." And so I think he's wearing the mask to be in touch with his grandfather.
Did he say grandfather help me? When? When he's looking at the mask?
Uh-huh.
I've seen the movie twice, and I don't remember this. But still...
but it is his grandfather.
Yeah, well, no, technically, yeah.
No, not technically. Yeah. He is. I mean,
but
Leia is...
Han is not part of the family tree.
No, but Leia sure is.
Yeah, okay, I get that. What did you call that? Step-grandfather. No, I'm just... No, so... I'm bad at this, okay?
Leia is Anakin's daughter.
Yeah.
Yes, so...
No.
Therefore, Anakin is Kylo Ren's grandfather.
Right. I missed that.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, but so what you're trying to say is just for him to like build up his own, I don't know, willpower or whatever. It's just like he wants to be like his grandmother. It doesn't have any specific role. Other than that, the mask itself.
That's what I think. I think that's his way of becoming more like his grandfather. It's
basically just... I mean, I'm curious if he's going to be wearing it at all from now on.
Since we already know what he looks like?
Well,
I think he will, because that's how the troops know him. And, he kind of sounds a little more badass with the... with the mask. Same with Darth Vader. Like, I know he had to breathe with it, but when he takes it off in Return of the Jedi and starts talking to Luke, come on, James Earl Jones, David Prowse.
I don't. Yeah. I wasn't too big of a fan of his voice behind the mask. I mean,
I liked it.
Kylo Ren's. It was kind of. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, that's your problem, but it's not as menacing as I'd expected it to be.
Okay, but I think if they had, it would have been trying too hard.
Probably. I don't know. Probably. but again, that's not the problem people have. Not essentially the voice. Yeah, that's the problem. Is the character himself and the actor or whatever. I still think the character is good. I think the actor is good.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the lightsaber fight, or should I say fights? And so by now we both know that Captain Phasma?
Phasma. Captain Phasma.
Is the captain, right? Yeah. Is something Disney didn't pull off, which is they wanted a cool character, a menacing, kind of general captain, whatever, leading the New Order, and instead, people just didn't like the character that much. But what they did like was the stormtrooper who opposed Finn with the twirly lightning stick that can be used against lightsabers. But it's funny and it's kind of cool at the same time.
I thought Phasma was cool. Like, mainly just because I thought it was so cool that they had a female be this badass in the not the Imperial, but the the Stormtrooper army.
Right.
If they wanted her to be badass, they wouldn't have shoved her down a garbage chute. I mean, it just kind of killed it. It was a funny line.
There is some sort of comeback planned for her.
Oh, I'm sure. She's not going to go down to the garbage chute lightly. I mean, she's going to get out.
And knowing Star Wars and knowing what the garbage chute has, the one-eyed snake monster thing, whatever its name is.
That was never expanded upon.
I know. So God knows where she ended up, but I'm pretty sure she will come back with a vengeance, as they say. Another cool character. I mean, I don't want to talk about the character, but the moment where Rey touches the Luke's lightsaber for so now, okay, well, I don't know how far people have theorized about this, but that's the lightsaber that Luke had when he was fighting Vader. That's the theory, right? Or if it's confirmed,
yes,
or whatever.
Yes, it's the blue lightsaber. It's the one Anakin had when he fought against Obi-Wan.
Okay. I guess he had a blue one and a green one.
Because A New Hope, Obi-Wan hands him a lightsaber and said, "Your father wanted you to have this when you were old enough." And at the end of Revenge of the Sith, when he, when he has the high ground. And ends up cutting off Anakin's legs, and he goes over and picks up his lightsaber. So, there you go.
Yeah. Okay. Still, it's a great moment where you could actually see. I mean, probably what you see are scenes that are going to be included in the upcoming movie, I guess, or flashbacks. Where you could see Kylo Ren hanging out with Sith, apprentices or whatever, and you could see Luke touching R2 and all that stuff we've seen in the trailers. So that was a pretty cool moment. But I'm not quite sure where the tiny Yoda-like character fits in with the glasses and the beady eyes.
Oh, she's just a matriarchal character that is full of wisdom and
I mean, obviously she's there to convey wisdom and all that, but I'm not sure if she's like she says that she's not like a master, or is she trying to hide the fact that she's like in hiding? It's the same as Yoda was, right? They don't when you meet Yoda for the first time, like in the Empire Strikes Back, the first few minutes you're like, who the hell is this little idiot creature? He takes out a flashlight.
Right.
you see what I'm saying? So it could still be, in fact, a Jedi master.
Sorry. This is really funny how you did that.
I don't have a flashlight handy, but I could have made it even more convincing.
No, I see what you're saying. I don't know if she served really any other purpose except to be a plot device to send Han and Rey on their way. I mean, maybe
Probably, yeah.
Maybe I could be
guess.
wrong. Maybe it will come out later that she was an old Jedi in hiding, but I don't think so. I am damn curious how she got that lightsaber that fell down.
Well, I mean, obviously she was doing something. Yeah, and she was like one of those cleaners or something. She was cleaning out the.
She was a Minoc.
No, not a Minoc. How dare you? You're being racist. I don't know what that is.
Because all aliens look alike to me. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes. I mean, you're so cold. So that's kind of a mystery. But overall, I liked how. Okay, so the only complaint I have is that they could have really made more of an effort with the plot and blowing up the planet thing. Many people are unhappy with that, but that's where I guess I kind of was disappointed myself. Not disappointed to the point that I wouldn't recommend the movie or anything. It's just that, I mean, come on, give us. I mean, you didn't have to really go down the exact same road.
Well,
and then they have 10 minutes, or the rebel base will be destroyed. And yeah. So,
but I mean, that same technique was used again with episode 1.
Yeah,
it was a.
You mean the episode
Phantom Menace? Yes.
Right, Phantom.
Yeah, because in the weird kind of way, it's kind of like you got these stages. So in Phantom Menace, it was a mothership. And then A New Hope, you have a battle station. And then Force Awakens, you have a fucking planet. So
yeah, and it was different. A lot bigger than the Death Star.
And they were all blown up the exact same way with little ships going inside. So. Yeah. And I don't know, does that mean that, well, not in the next episode, but in the one after that, we're going to see an even bigger Death Star? Maybe they'll finally learn, maybe we shouldn't do this. Maybe we need to spread out. Or if we're going to have one, let's build a lot of them. Right. I mean, let's at least have 3. I mean, they can't destroy all 3 at once. Video games has proven that, yes. How did you like the rest of those New Order guys? There's the kind of, I don't know his name, who's has the speech, to the troops. The commander. The New Order. Yeah, the commander something. Commander. Oh, that was so reminiscent of Nazis. It was scary. Yeah. But did you like him? Pretty sure it was. Well, I don't think you're supposed to like him, but do I think that he fit? I think he fit just fine. Right. It kind of reminded me a little bit of the beginning of Empire, where you kind of have this little struggle between Captain Nita. I'm getting this wrong. The first admiral that he force choked. And the captain that was right underneath him, who was promoted to admiral, there was a little bit of that between that one admiral and Kylo Ren in front of Snoke. And that's what that kind of reminded me of. Because in a way, you have a religious idealist, like Kylo Ren, versus the tactical general, which I think is that's a plot device that's used a lot. And I think that they both pulled it off very well as they're vying for the love and attention of Snoke. Yeah. So what do you think about the latest theory that we've seen? I've been avoiding the theories. Which is expressed in one image, and that is Darth Vader's version, the version of the when he takes off his mask, and that compared to Snoke, as in Darth Vader survived the funeral pyre He survived
and
being burned alive.
He survived being burned alive, and so essentially, but I don't think. I mean,
he was already dead.
that guy is an alien. That's what I'm getting. The guy is Snoke.
What my thoughts was by the way he spoke, some of the mannerisms, the way he was twisting his head, and some of the nuances what he was saying reminded me of Palpatine.
I mean, he's one of those guys.
Or
in the sense like that race.
Or he is.
No, but do you remember like Palpatine had a whole like congregation of some, I don't know, they were like creepy, these evil, creepy looking, white kind of,
well,
they were essentially aliens.
Well, yes.
Another one of those guys.
But Palpatine, he was just thrown down a shaft. We didn't really, that kind of leaves the door open to possible, Luke survived falling down a shaft.
He wasn't just thrown down a shaft. He was thrown into a huge reactor while lightning was coming out of his hands.
You know what?
Thus causing some sort of explosion, which...
Yes.
Now you're... now you're the one doing the theories.
But, if they can bring back a Darth Maul, why not Palpatine?
I don't... you're right. You're right. This is Disney. You're right. Anything is possible. Well, I made you with this. Is Han actually dead?
Well, the planet kind of blew up.
Show me the corpse.
Hey, I'm the one who had a hard time believing that he's actually dead. I mean... If they brought him back, that would be so cheesy, though.
Yes, it would. We shouldn't go crazy with these theories, Han Solo is, in fact, Snoke. There, the end.
But when I really started to tear up before Han died was when he called out his son's name.
You mean when he actually speaks to him, for the first time?
Yeah. As soon as I heard, when I heard the name, I was like, "Oh, that is so awesome!" And yeah.
Well, that's Harrison Ford.
No, just the name, his name. What they named him.
Like he can pull. If anybody can pull off a line.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's that.
That's what I'm saying. His voice is always so. Expressive and commanding, and
funny because he sounded like a father, getting mad at his teenage son for stealing his car. The way that he
what the fuck? Yeah, he was like, "Is that kind of confrontation? Where the hell do you think you're doing?"
Right. So, but so I did love that they named him Ben. I thought that was
Ben is cool.
I thought that was absolutely amazing. And what I couldn't believe though was how Mark Hamill had no lines. I couldn't believe
that was the entire movie. I've spent watching the entire movie for the first time, waiting for Luke to show up. So what I'm doing essentially is watching every epic scene, and then this would be a good moment, people. This would be a good moment. Perhaps Luke is gonna. So when, for instance, Kylo Ren was trying to reach for the lightsaber, and you could see the lightsaber, throbbing and moving. That's what I thought. Okay, so Luke is probably lurking somewhere there, and he's gonna be the one pulling the lightsaber and saving Rey's life or something. But that would be, lame. So the whole time I was just worrying, whenever they choose to put him, would be kind of lame. But at the same time, I want to see him. And then, of course, it ends up being just like 10 seconds of screen time for him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it is one epic look.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, because what he basically, I think, when you could actually see it in his eyes. He's worrying that if he touches that lightsaber, he knows which lightsaber it is. You can see him, man. If I touch that thing, all hell will break loose, and I'll have all those memories back. And he's going through all those emotions even before taking it in his hands. So again, it's a pretty great scene, but I just wanted something out of Luke. I mean, especially now that he's all mature and wise and whatever, and older, a lot older.
Yeah, he actually kind of looked like Obi-Wan, like Sir Alec Guinness Obi-Wan a little bit, or maybe more like Ewan McGregor, because they still had they don't have the totally white hair, but that's what it reminded me of. He just really looked like Obi-Wan.
I'm really gonna be disappointed if he has if he doesn't have a lot of screen time in the next movie. I guess because I want to see him be the mentor now or anything. I want to see him do stuff because he was always my hero. That's the point. I mean, I was always Luke Skywalker. I always pretended to be Luke Skywalker. I never pretended to be Han. I never pretended to be anything else. So that's the biggest emotional attachment for me in the movies.
So it's gonna kill you when they kill him off, huh?
Oh yeah. I will be crying like crazy.
Yeah, because after they killed Han, I was like, okay, if that's what's happening, I understand why that happened. They did it for more than one reason, and one of those reasons is to, phase out the old. But then it had me thinking, when are they going to kill Leia and Luke and Chewbacca?
So you think that's inevitable?
I don't know. I hope not. And you complain about my dog.
I didn't complain. I just made a face. You're the one. Okay, this bark is way more annoying than Toby's, but and it's not my dog. It's from the neighborhood, so it's, I don't know. I can go out and shoot it if you wish.
Oh, don't kill dogs. It's horrible.
No, we do that here in Serbia. But what else? I wanted to say something else about Luke. Is that we're not clear on his role yet and relationship with Rey,
or why he left,
or why he. Well, we sort of kind of get the impression that
we have a guess.
That he's just in exile. Well, not in exile, but he
self-imposed exile, I guess. But he said, what was it? They said that he was searching. That they believe he was searching for the original Jedi Temple.
Mm-hmm.
But for what? For why?
So but didn't he start a whole academy himself, and then that all went tits up when Kylo Ren screwed it up? Wasn't that
that was part of
sad?
It? Yeah.
Well, we know that for starters.
Right. Well, that, and they said that they know he went to go look for.
Okay, I'll be completely honest. I want to see him kicking ass.
Well, I think we all do.
With a lightsaber.
I mean, we did see Han Solo kick some ass.
Oh yeah, yes, with a crossbow, no less. People complain about that as well. Oh my God! See, he picks up the crossbow and he's like, "Oh, why didn't he do that already? How come it's the first time they know each other for ages?" And I was like, just shut up.
Well, it's like the comparison that I saw was it's like having a best friend for 40 years and never driving their car, and I'm like, I have a best friend I've had for 25 years, and I've never driven her car. She's never driven mine.
I like the comparisons. It's like because I'm thinking that Chewie probably has some sort of car. He drives on his own. Don't you touch my speeder. Which
then prompted another theory, which I think is just ridiculous that we're having to make up theories to explain stuff. But the theory is, this was a new and improved bowcaster, and that's why he wanted to fire it, because he hadn't fired this one. Like, oh, who the fuck cares? It was a funny.
Oh my God!
It was a funny gag. It was a funny gag.
It was great. It was great.
Hilarious. Move on.
Yeah. Precisely, and that's all it should be.
See, this is why the world needs people like me who are easy to please, because the world is so full of nitpickers.
Look, you were in your mother's belly, probably hearing for the first time the sound of a lightsaber, which always sounds cool, and you were like, I must know. I must be born now.
It is time, woman.
It is. You're already completely self-aware. Yeah. You know that you're a woman. ready to step out into the world and just embrace your fan impulses.
See, when I was crying, what I was really saying was, you don't look like Luke.
Yeah. No. But like to wrap up, like my views. I mean, I've seen it twice already, right? So what I was afraid of is that seeing it for the second time would kind of, I didn't know how it would feel. I wanted to see it for the second time, and then what ended up happening was that I actually liked it even more. So because you get to notice, little things that you didn't, and not only that, but now that you actually know everything, it actually makes it more enjoyable. I don't know, it sounds weird, but I think they actually make these things that way.
You're not the first person to say that. I've been told by several people who have seen it more than once that the second time was much more enjoyable because they already knew what was going on, so they were able to pick up on a whole lot more references or little foreshadowing things.
Yeah, but okay, you saw it once, and you were like, I would give a thumbs up. I would give it a thumbs up, and I'd recommend it to people.
Oh yeah. I was ready to sit through it
but
again.
not just like fans and average viewers alike, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, there you go. So that says a lot to me. Pulling that off was like a huge challenge. I mean, both for JJ and like for the crew and stuff.
I did meet someone this weekend who hated it.
Well, I know people who hate it.
My cousin and her husband hated it. And they said because they're like, the humor was different. It just wasn't the same. But then like I wanted to point out that they both like Twilight and to shut up, but
Look, I love the humor. Okay, we're not going to count what those people think, are we? That doesn't, I mean, those arguments are not valid. They should not count in this or any other universe. Next. I'm sorry, but yeah.
But they were the first people, and they were saying, well, the humor was so different. And I was like,
look,
really?
The humor is fine. The humor is fine. It's not a matter of opinion. People who are young and old like the humor. I know this for a fact. I mean, people laughed in the theater.
See, they said they didn't find any of it funny, and they felt that Harrison Ford's character was forced. And they didn't like any of the new characters. I'm like, I don't know what would have pleased you guys. Go watch the prequels again. I mean, I don't know. So do you guys want that kind of corny humor?
These are your cousins. You're related to these people?
My cousin, yes, I'm related to her and her husband. I'm not related to him.
Okay. I mean,
her kids liked it though. So.
Well, yeah. Hooray for the kids at least. I mean,
right.
They're smarter. But yeah, well, everybody has the right not to like this.
No, they don't.
But,
don't you know how the internet works?
Look, I'm trying to keep an open mind here.
That's actually
and not
hard
come
for
across.
You. I give you a golf clap because I know that's hard for you.
Look, we're not gonna go down this road. I mean, you're easy to please.
And you hate everything.
Right. And I like this movie.
That is
so
true.
That says a lot.
Actually, I will say what I told people was I was very nervous when you went to go see it. I was like, oh my God, he hates everything, and he's a big Star Wars fan. If he comes back from this, and he's like, this is awful, Keri, I'm just gonna be like, oh no, and it's gonna ruin it for me. But when you came back and you said that you just loved it, I was like, oh, okay. And then Blake said the same thing, that he just loved it, and he's also hard to please with Star Wars stuff. And
Right. What about Vince? Did Vince like it?
I didn't ask. He probably hasn't gotten to see it. He's been kind of busy.
Yeah, well, that's true. But, yes, I mean, should we try and wrap it up, or should we go on forever?
We could go on forever, but I think we do need to wrap it up, mainly because I got to go pick up my kids here in about 30 minutes.
Yeah, and I have to eat food.
So, but as for what we've been playing, Udarosh has just been playing Destiny. Nobody cares about that. I've been playing... Someone
listen.
I've been playing Just Cause 3. I've liberated all the provinces, but I am stuck in the story, the second to last mission, because I am not twitchy enough to do something quickly, and so I have hung my hat.
All of that is just our guilty pleasures, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Oh, but yay! Everyone cares about this. I got the platinum trophy and the PS3 copy of Diablo 3.
Oh man.
I had one thing to go, and that was I had to get the gold trophy for obtaining 5 million gold.
Mm-hmm.
And so I found, thanks online, a tip to how to harvest the gold fastest. And I realized that like months ago, but then I put it down. And so after Christmas, I realized that I had 1 million gold left to go. Thanks to this tip, I harvested it in 3 days. And when that challenge popped up and I paused, then the gold trophy, then the platinum trophy, it was instant. Quit game, export save. I imported it into my Reaper of Souls version of PlayStation 4, and it wiped away my PlayStation 4 save, so bye-bye level 70 Crusader.
Look, I mean, you must have some sort of ambition to create a completely new character and just start over.
I probably will. It's a really fun game, and my son really likes playing Diablo with me. He really does.
There you go.
So, even though like I really enjoyed playing with him with my Paragon 10 Demon Hunter and his monk, because so we'd always play on normal easy, and when I realized that I didn't have to shoot my bow anymore, I could just walk through enemies and they die.
Yeah.
He started to say,
that's like, pretty awesome.
He goes, okay, Mom, this isn't fun anymore. Especially when we got to the boss fight of Belial, and he said that he wanted to get a shot in before I killed him with one shot. So I put my PlayStation 3 controller down. Mm-hmm. The enemies appear. They touch me. They all die. Belial, he comes in. He hits me. Immediately goes into second phase.
You said this is on normal, right?
Yes, it's on normal and easy. He puts his arms down right on top of me. He dies instantly. And my son, he goes, Mom! I was like, I didn't touch the controller. Not my fault that I'm so awesome that when he touches me, he dies.
That's a pretty good play, but I mean, you will be returning to the game at some point. So
I'm sure the game is fun. It's
and
crazy fun.
At some point in the future, you will be playing Destiny as well. We all will be. I mean, it's just a fact of life.
No, I won't.
Yes, but you don't even know it right now. It's kind of like Star Wars as well.
No.
You just yes. Come on.
No.
Just accept it.
Not happening.
Let it in.
No.
Like the Force. Let it in.
No.
Well, if you're going to be like that, I mean...
Well, we also should wrap it up then.
Yeah. And just end this in a totally negative tone.
Okay, fuck Destiny. There it is.
I hate Just Cause.
That's
Fuck
fine.
you, Just Cause.
I like blowing up shit for no reason. Alright, so... Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe, join, and donate. No, I'm kidding. I've been watching too much Twitch TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for unboxing videos, more of these vidcasts, and you can watch Vader make an ass of himself on a speeder. It's kind of fun.
It's a very good demonstration of my speeder skills and generally my skills at Battlefront, I think.
You mean lack thereof?
Well, I can say in my own defense, I did all of that on purpose. No, I didn't actually. It was completely spontaneous. I tried to avoid those trees and I failed.
Well,
I didn't see them on time.
Well,
I didn't see them.
I always wondered that in Return of the Jedi. How could they avoid the trees going that fast? And now we know you can't.
Well, Luke is force sensitive, and those other guys, I really don't know. They must, endure some sort of extremely tough training process for that.
I don't know. Right? I've always wondered that, but anyway.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
But this vidcast is also now a podcast. We are on SoundCloud, and you can subscribe to us on iTunes. I will have links up on this Action Trip post as well. But chances are, if you're watching or listening, you've already seen these links. But the links are there, so you can subscribe to us on iTunes or SoundCloud just to listen to us. And of course, you can follow all of us. The Action Trip is action_trip. Udrash. He's right there. Udrash is at Udre Vader, and I am at Crunchy Chocobo. And of course, we ask to keep on reading actiontrip.com every day. And we will see you all next week.
Later, bye.